Welcome back to Crime Documentary Files. Today we will learn about a case that happened in San Antonio that shocked America in 2019. Andreen Nicole McDonald was an extraordinary Jamaican woman with an impressive success story. In her early 20s, she built a career in America from nothing. In just a few short years, through her talent and determination, she achieved remarkable success and became one of the most admired young millionaires. Born on September 23, 1989 in Port Antonio, Jamaica, Andreen grew up in a poor working-class family. Her childhood was marked by modest meals and constant deprivation. These harsh circumstances ignited within her an intense desire for a better life. From a very young age, she dreamed of coming to America to build her fortune, determined to rise above her circumstances and become wealthy. With grand ambitions in her heart, Andreen never stopped working toward making her dreams reality. In her education, she consistently proved herself an exceptional student, maintaining top academic performance from elementary through high school. Beyond her academic excellence, Andreen possessed remarkable communication skills and a magnetic personality that drew people to her. After graduating with a marketing degree in Jamaica, she pursued her American dream by continuing her education with an MBA at the University of Texas, San Antonio. This was the crucial turning point that brought her closer to her dreams. There's a saying, "Opportunity comes to those who never stop trying," and Andreen's life proved this true. During her dedicated studies, fate quietly arranged an unexpected meeting. During a visit back to her hometown of Port Antonio, she met her destiny, Andreen McDonald. Andreen McDonald, though also born in Jamaica, had settled in America early when his mother remarried an American man. In college, he initially studied electrical engineering at Florida International University, but his passion for information technology completely changed his career trajectory. The deeper he delved into this field, the more drawn he became to new challenges, and through constant effort, he became a computer expert. However, when his college degree opened up many attractive career opportunities, Andreen chose a completely different path. 2004 marked a significant turning point when he officially joined the U.S. Air Force. Andreen's career could be described as a series of continuous successes, with everything seemingly falling into place. On an early summer day in May 2009, Andreen attended a family funeral in Port Antonio, where he met Andreen, a woman 10 years his junior. This meeting seemed destined. A brilliant student and a composed Air Force major. They fell in love at first sight, with their age difference becoming meaningless in the face of their strong connection. Their relationship progressed quickly, and before long they were walking down the aisle. Andreen initially worked in Texas, but was later stationed at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. After their marriage, San Antonio became the place where the young couple would build their home. Despite having a husband with a stable military career, Andreen didn't choose to be a stay-at-home wife. The burning desire for business success still burned strongly within her, driving her into the business world. This wasn't just a temporary ambition, but a dream she had nurtured and pursued for many years. Though new to business, Andreen's keen vision quickly recognized the vast potential in elderly care. She believed this was fertile ground, a golden opportunity to build her career. When sharing her business idea with her husband, a meaningful coincidence occurred. Andreen's grandmother had just undergone leg amputation surgery and needed special care. It seemed destiny was smiling on Andreen as her business plan perfectly met an urgent need within her own family. With strong faith in his wife's abilities, Andreen didn't hesitate to invest all their assets to support her entrepreneurial dream. He not only agreed to sell his beloved car, but also boldly took out a substantial loan to secure startup capital. And so, at age 22, with the burning passion of youth, Andreen established Starlight Homes Assisted Living, marking the beginning of her business journey. Through dedication and enthusiasm, Andreen poured her heart into managing and developing the assisted living facility. Under her meticulous and attentive management, Starlight Homes quickly built a reputation and prestige in the industry, attracting more and more clients. After just 2 years, the facility had developed remarkably, with Andreen taking on the key role in operations. Meanwhile, her husband, bound by military duties, gradually became a hands-off owner not involved in daily operations. Naturally, since the initial capital came mainly from Andreen McDonald, they split the profits equally. As their income increased, their life became increasingly prosperous and happy. In their friends' eyes, Andreen was both a capable wife and a talented businesswoman. 2015 marked a special milestone in the couple's life when they welcomed their new member, their little daughter Elena. Their daughter's innocent laughter filled their small home with happiness. Business success allowed them to enjoy a luxurious life with two valuable properties: a $450,000 home in Forest Park and an elegant mansion in Stone Oak, an upscale neighborhood in northern San Antonio. By 2019, under Andreen's skillful management, Starlight Homes Assisted Living had grown into a large enterprise with 2 new branches. Revenue was not only stable but showed remarkable growth, making her a millionaire at age 29. Andreen's excellence and success were evident to all. She was a businesswoman in the media's eyes, a good wife in her family's hearts, and extremely kind to friends. Andreen's future seemed bright with new successes awaiting. However, life is full of unexpected turns, and no one could predict what fate had in store. With her relentless drive to succeed, Andreen constantly set higher challenges for herself. She maintained a strict disciplinary schedule, at the gym by 5:30 a.m. every morning, and at the office by 8 a.m. This routine had become an essential part of her life for many years. However, on March 1st, 2019, tragedy struck. For the first time in years, Andreen, known for her punctuality, didn't show up at work as usual. Her phone was silent. All attempts to contact her went unanswered. Even when staff contacted her fitness trainer, he said Andreen hadn't shown up for her morning workout, something that had never happened before. Worried about this unusual absence, staff tried to contact Andreen's closest friend, Carol Ganbar, knowing that the boss and her friend often worked out and had coffee together. But even Carol knew nothing about Andreen's whereabouts. With growing concern, Carol couldn't sit still anymore. She went with one of her employees to Andreen's house to investigate. Despite knocking repeatedly, only silence answered. Fortunately, they found the back door unlocked and decided to check inside. Upon entering, she discovered the family dog in a state of hunger, with waste scattered across the floor, a scene suggesting the dog had been uncared for several days. But what worried Carol more was when she discovered suspicious blood stains on the light switch in the bathroom. Overwhelmed with unease, she quickly left the house and immediately contacted a police friend for advice. Following her friend's suggestion, Carol reached out to Maureen, Andreen's mother, to go to the scene and officially report the missing person case, this being the fastest way to get police involved in the investigation. When witnessing the bloodstains in her daughter's house firsthand, the mother's heart shattered, and she immediately called the police. Upon receiving the report, police quickly arrived at the scene. After careful inspection, they discovered 3 suspicious things. First, Andreen was missing, but her car, wallet, and keys were still in the house. Second, there was blood and long hair stuck to the light switch in the bathroom. Third, in the backyard, there was a suspicious pile of ashes with a zipper head, suggesting someone had burned clothes there. Maureen confirmed the zipper was from her daughter's clothing. While police were analyzing the situation, husband Andreen McDonald cheerfully ran home, saying he had found Andreen. It turned out Andreen had a history of migraines, so when he heard his wife was missing, his first reaction was to check the hospital on Highway 281. After asking the staff, he confirmed his wife was there. Hearing this news, everyone felt relieved. It seemed all the commotion was just a misunderstanding. However, to be sure, everyone still decided to check the hospital. But surprisingly, when they arrived, they learned Andreen wasn't there at all. The person Andreen found was just someone with the same name. He had only asked for the name and rushed away. Andreen was also confused. He anxiously volunteered information to the police about what happened the previous evening, hoping to help with the investigation. Last night we argued, so we slept in separate rooms. This morning, I thought she was still sleeping, so I took our daughter to school before reporting to the Air Force Base. I don't know when she left the house. Regarding the reason for the argument, he hesitated before saying, "Yesterday, while checking tax documents, I discovered she had secretly opened another branch under just her name. We had agreed from the start that the business was a two-person venture, split equally. Her doing this made me very angry, thinking she wanted to seize assets, so we argued. My wife also has a hot temper, and when she came home in the evening still angry, I drove around for a while, stopped at a gas station to refuel, and came home very late to sleep. After checking, police confirmed seeing him in the gas station's surveillance footage. Andree's statement seemed to have nothing wrong with it. Everything appeared normal. Police then searched the mansion all night until 2 a.m. the next morning, but found no useful clues. The case seemed to hit a dead end. Out of necessity, police had to meet with each of Andreen's close friends to ask if they had any information about her whereabouts. During this process, one of Andreen's close friends mentioned a past story that caught police attention. It turned out that Andreen had secretly had an affair after marrying Andree. Her lover was a Jamaican man named Aubin Hall. He and Andreen were from the same hometown and were also ex-lovers. They had been together for a while, and though they broke up, they still had feelings for each other. In 2017, during a charity event, Andreen met Aubin again. Standing at the crossroads of love, on one side her first love with unfading sweet memories, on the other, a marriage that had gradually faded, Andreen chose to secretly rekindle her old flame with Aubin. Lost in their secret affair, Andreen went so far as to get an artistic letter A tattooed on the back of her hand and the numbers 14-3-76 on her wrist in summer 2018. The sudden appearance of two tattoos unrelated to him planted seeds of nagging doubt in Andree's mind. With a husband's intuition, he began secretly investigating his wife's social media accounts. In his wife's circle of friends, he saw Aubin's photos and discovered this man also had an identical A tattoo. Later, he also learned the meaning of those numbers. They were Aubin's birth date. Faced with this betrayal, rather than letting anger control him, Andree implemented a subtle strategy. Initially, he exploded with anger and threatened divorce, but then switched to emotional negotiation, saying he would forgive everything if Andreen agreed to remove those tattoos, cut all contact with Aubin, and never return to Jamaica alone. Recognizing her mistake and thinking of the years spent building their family happiness, Andreen agreed to her husband's conditions. The couple quickly returned to their sweet days as before. Just 13 days before the tragedy, at Andree's 40th birthday party, they still appeared as a happily married couple, making everyone around them envious. But was this just a facade? After all, a broken mirror, no matter how hard you try to fix it, can hardly return to its original pristine state, let alone the human heart with its lingering wounds. Police felt something wasn't right about this story. After careful investigation, they indeed discovered an irregularity. In Andree's phone, police found text messages between the couple from the evening before Andreen's disappearance. "If you mention Aubin again, I'll divorce you. I don't care about divorce. You were the first one to bring Aubin into our lives." This showed that the relationship between the couple wasn't as harmonious as it appeared on the surface. Beyond asset disputes, they had major emotional rifts. What made police most suspicious was that Andree hadn't mentioned any of this in his previous statements. When asked for more details, he remained silent, even declaring he would contact a lawyer. To uncover the truth, police stationed surveillance outside Andreen's mansion 24/7. What police didn't expect was that the very next morning they would discover something unusual. Andree had gone to a nearby gun store to purchase a handgun and ammunition. At this point, Andree accidentally discovered undercover police monitoring him in the gun store. Therefore, he paid, but didn't take the gun and tried to flee. Realizing their cover was blown, police decided to act first, arresting Andree. Initially, they worried he might buy the gun to do something reckless. Therefore, they handed him over to the Air Force for psychological evaluation. Meanwhile, police returned with a search warrant and conducted a second search of the house. This time, they discovered several new clues. The first clue was that the garage door was damaged while it had been intact during the first search. Clearly, something had happened between the two searches. Next, they discovered a shovel, axe, 2 gas cans, flashlight, and gloves in Andree's car. These items looked suspicious and appeared to be newly purchased. Additionally, in the garage trash can, police found a torn store receipt. Based on the address on the receipt, they went to the store and through surveillance footage learned that Andree had bought all these tools on the Monday after his wife's disappearance. In the garage trash can, police also found a hammer and a pair of Andree's pants. Both the pants pocket and hammer had bloodstains. DNA testing showed these bloodstains belonged to Andreen. Combining the clues, police believe the tools like gas cans, hammer, axe, and other items were likely used by Andree to dispose of the body. Inspector Javier asserted, "Looking at these malicious tools, he must be connected to Andreen's disappearance. All evidence points to one frightening conclusion. Andreen was murdered, and the perpetrator is her husband, Andreen McDonald." With this string of suspicious clues, police decided to shift their investigation from a routine missing person case to a serious murder case. Although the suspicious signs surrounding Andree were obvious to anyone, since they hadn't found the victim's body and there were no direct witnesses, police could temporarily only arrest him on charges of tampering with evidence. "When I heard my son was arrested, it was like being struck by lightning," Andreen McDonald's mother tearfully shared. "They were a happy couple. How could my son harm his wife?" On March 5th, Andreen McDonald's trial began at the Bexar County Court. The main charge against him was intentionally destroying important evidence, including purchase receipts and text messages that could be related to the case. In court, Andreen McDonald insisted he had nothing to do with his wife's disappearance. The gun purchase was only for self-defense. He even declared his deep love for his wife and that he would absolutely never harm her. Faced with not finding the victim's body and lacking decisive evidence, the court had to allow Andree to post bail after he paid $300,000 on March 27th. Parallel to the legal proceedings, the search for Andreen continued unabated. As a successful and respected businesswoman in the community, her disappearance had sparked widespread concern. A large-scale search campaign was launched with hundreds of volunteers participating. Notably, the Air Force Base also sent 200 service members to join the search effort, along with a substantial police force being mobilized. The massive search team practically turned Bexar County upside down, but yielded no results. She had vanished like dust in the air without a trace. On the 8th day after the incident, in an atmosphere heavy with grief, family and friends held a prayer vigil for Andreen. Amid flickering candles and heartfelt prayers, they sent a message to Andree. "If you have any conscience left, tell us where Andreen is." But answering that plea was only frightening silence from Andree, who continued to deny any knowledge of his wife's fate. When 3 weeks passed without any leads, Bexar County authorities had to request assistance from the state of Texas, while announcing a $5,000 reward for any information that could lead to Andreen's whereabouts. Over time, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, also joined the investigation. By this point, this mysterious disappearance had captured widespread social attention, touching the hearts of Americans nationwide. FBI agent Michelle stated, "I want to urge the public not to give up hope. We will always remember this case and never give up searching." However, despite the large-scale search campaign and national attention, there were still no clues about Andreen. The case reached an impasse. After 133 long days of relentless search efforts, on July 11, 2019, a search volunteer named Clifton accidentally discovered a human skull on a ranch 6 miles from Andreen's house. The remains were cleverly disguised next to a pile of cattle bones, like a final attempt to conceal the horrific crime. As soon as they received the report, police immediately arrived at the scene. 2 days later, forensic results confirmed that the bone fragments found were indeed Andreen's. On July 13, 2019, in a press conference heavy with grief, Sheriff Javier officially announced this news, marking the end of the months-long search campaign. Immediately, Andreen McDonald was arrested for the second time, but this time on murder charges. The forensic report revealed horrifying details. Andreen's spine and ribs were shattered, her jawbone severely fractured. However, due to the body's extensive destruction, experts couldn't determine the exact cause of death. Clearly, only Andrei knew the full truth about Andreen's death. During initial interrogation, investigators pointed out that the couple's relationship had actually deteriorated long before. Andrei frequently abused his wife. In February 2017, he had filed for divorce but suddenly withdrew the petition. Faced with the murder charge, Andrei defended himself. In August 2016, I was transferred to Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi for a 6-month training course. At that time, we still had a good relationship, no problems. But during a break, I suddenly received a text from Andreen saying she wanted a divorce. I thought it was a joke, but when I returned home in early December, everything had changed. Andreen was very cold, completely different from before. I knew our relationship had issues, so I filed for divorce. But because the asset dispute was too complicated, I eventually withdrew the petition. As for domestic violence, it's completely unfounded. My wife worked out daily and was very strong. I couldn't have beaten her. During questioning, Andrei gradually admitted to the conflicts between them and acknowledged their discord, but whenever the topic of his wife's death came up, he fell silent and insisted he wasn't involved. Due to the pandemic's impact, the trial lasted 4 years. From April 2021, Andrei was placed under house arrest awaiting final judgment. On January 17, 2023, just 3 days before the hearing, perhaps due to a guilty conscience, Andrei told his mother that he had killed his wife. He then called his wife's mother and sister. In the 41-minute call, he cried and revealed the truth. That evening, after returning from the gas station, I didn't go to the bedroom but argued with my wife instead. I suggested divorce and asset division. Unexpectedly, this made her furious. She spat at me, cursed, and tried to hit me. I got angry and headbutted her and scratched her face. She covered her face and ran into the bathroom. Seeing the blood in the mirror made her even angrier. Because she regularly worked out and could lift 270 pounds, I was truly afraid she would punch me, so I had to sit down to dodge and took the opportunity to attack her legs, causing her to fall. After kicking her a few times, she lay motionless on the floor. Right then, our daughter heard the noise and came over. I didn't want our daughter to witness this, so I carried her back to her room and soothed her to sleep. About 30 minutes later, I returned to the bathroom, and she was still lying motionless on the floor. When I approached, I discovered she had stopped breathing. This is the whole truth. I really didn't intend to harm her. Please believe me. Andreen McDonald described the entire incident as an accident. On January 20th, 2023, the trial officially began. Andreen McDonald once again recounted the incident as he had described. Throughout the trial, the judge raised several key questions. When you realized Andreen had stopped breathing, why didn't you call 911? Andreen McDonald argued that calling emergency services couldn't have saved her. At that time, I didn't want our daughter to see. I just wanted my wife to quickly disappear from the house. So I drove to a nearby ranch, placed her next to a dead cow, then stripped off all her clothes. When I got home, I burned those clothes in the backyard. How do you explain the multiple broken bones in Andreen's body? Andrei answered, that day, after police finished searching the house, I went to the store to buy gas cans, an axe, and a hammer. I poured gasoline on her and used a lighter to burn her. After the fire went out, I used the hammer to hit her face and neck multiple times. I was very angry then, because if she hadn't had an affair, if she hadn't tried to seize assets, if she hadn't insisted on arguing and getting physical, things wouldn't have come to this. Andrei emphasized that all his actions were self-defense, and he had no intention to kill. To prove this, he even played a video showing his wife's strong physical condition to demonstrate his statement was reasonable. After 6 days of trial and 33 witness testimonies, the jury reached an impasse in deciding whether Andreen McDonald should be convicted of intentional murder, manslaughter, or be acquitted. Some jury members felt that after confessing, Andrei showed no remorse, desecrated the body, and skillfully defended himself in court without any regret. Moreover, after the incident, he transferred all the money from their joint bank accounts elsewhere, and to this day, police haven't found where the money went. All these things showed his heinous crimes couldn't be forgiven. But others felt this case was more like an accident, that Andreen McDonald had no intention to kill, that it was truly unintentional. He had no prior criminal record and was a well-disciplined serviceman in the military. Everyone had different opinions, arguing endlessly. Finally, after nearly 11 hours of discussion, the jury reached their final verdict. Andreen was convicted of manslaughter with a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. In February 2023, based on this verdict, the judge added 5 years for evidence tampering. Therefore, Andreen McDonald's total prison sentence was 25 years. Although Andreen McDonald later appealed, all appeals were rejected. Notably, in the subsequent civil lawsuit, Andreen McDonald was ordered to pay $110 million in damages and $100 million in punitive damages. These amounts would be paid to Andreen's family, with at least $60 million designated for daughter Elena. Considering that Andreen had previously transferred money away, the prosecutor requested establishing a trust fund for his daughter to ensure she would receive this money when she grew up. The 4-year-long trial finally came to an end. However, the court's verdict couldn't heal the wounded hearts. Andreen's sister angrily questioned Andreen McDonald. "Why choose murder? Why not choose divorce? You know you can't escape responsibility, nor can you escape God's punishment." The prosecution was also extremely disappointed with this outcome. In their minds, Andreen McDonald was very cruel, had clear motives, showed no remorse after the crime, and used a hammer and fire to dispose of evidence. What he said wasn't credible. He should have received at least life imprisonment. In fact, the vast majority of people shared this view, believing the sentence was too lenient and he still had a chance for parole. In this tragedy, the most pitiful person was daughter Elena. The little girl had been diagnosed with severe autism at age 4 and could barely speak. Now, all these events had caused her to develop post-traumatic stress disorder. For a child, such experiences are truly heartbreaking. This has left irreparable damage in her young soul, and that's our story for today. What are your thoughts about this case? Please share in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.